This is the Domestic Draft Podcast. My name's Evan Bierman. I'm here with Dan Slowick. It's going to be a great show. We're going to catch you up on all the latest moves in the NFL and MLB. A lot of free agency stuff going on there, and we're going to talk some March Madness as well. A little Bulls also. Dan, how you been, and what are you drinking, man?
I'm good. A lot to cover on this episode. I'm doing well. Happy to kind of get a little more sunlight here later on in the day. I always enjoy that. I was talking to a friend and we're like, this is kind of the unofficial start to like summer. Skip the whole spring thing. Just go right to summer here in San Diego. I'm drinking a cider. I haven't done a cider in a long time. I was out of the store. I saw this cider. I've never heard of it before. It's called Newtopia Cider, and they spell cider Cyder. And it's a cidery here in San Diego. They have multiple locations. And the flavor that I'm drinking is called Chimea River. It's a hard cider, dry spiced with cinnamon, chamomile, and chrysanthemum. It's very like fall kind of Thanksgiving apple pie flavor. It's a gold medal winner for them. They use a blend of Fuji, Gala, Honeycrisp, and Red Delicious Granny Smith apples in it. It drinks nicely cold or hot, so they kind of let you know that you could heat this up if you wanted to, if it's a cold day. And it's really clean, really refreshing. It's 5.8%, and it's got a 4.1 on Untapped. A little bit about Newtopia. It was established in 2017, so it's rather new. It states that it's the first official cidery in San Diego. So obviously known for craft beer. It seems as though there's a craft cider push going right now. So be on the lookout for a lot of cideries open up, and it's a husband-wife combination, Rick and Jennifer Moreno, since 2017. It's pretty good. This is a good cider. I would highly recommend it. What about you? What do you got?
Solid. I don't know about heating that up though. All those cold days in San Diego. I don't know about heating up some cider.
No.
But so the brewery I'm doing today is Pollyanna Brewing. They have a headquarters out in Lamont, Illinois, and then they have locations in Roselle and St. Charles as well. So outside the city here. The Lamont location has a scenic view of their production brewery. The Roselle location has a wide array of wood barrels, smaller brew house for some unique one-off offerings. And the St. Charles location has the largest tap room, good view of the distilling operations, as well as the Fox River. So something different at each location they have there. They do some special firkins, cocktails, taproom only offerings at each location. They also have a distillery, like I mentioned, at the St. Charles location, and then a mug club, which comes with beer and merch discounts, free cover to their events, and other benefits. There's also been talks of a fourth location, so they're doing pretty well out there. The beer I have here is called Maisie. It's named after a famous local establishment. In the 1890s, Maisie's Place was one of Lamont's go-to establishments for liquor and gambling. So that's kind of cool. Little, connection to the area. Yeah, a little history. This is a gluten-reduced American pale ale, Maisie. It's 5.4%. Gets a 3.58 on Untapped. It's got some notes of orange and grapefruit, but just a good, easy drinking IPA. I'm a big gluten fan, so I don't know if this is the one for me, but it's it's really good.
Big gluten fan. Yeah, that's like a favorite for a lot of the people that kind of moved a little further west. I know my brother's out there around St. Charles, both of them, 2 out of the older 3, I should say. And they do like to go out there. I think I've been to the Lamont location, and I know we always point out the one on the Fox River. It's right there on the Fox River, which is always cool. Downtown St. Charles is a cool little spot to go to. Nice. Maisie. Gluten though, huh? No gluten on it. All right, let's talk a lot of news going on. It's crazy. It's been like the last couple of days have been a nonstop Twitter refresh for me. Looking for updates on Bulls players with injuries, looking for updates on Major League, Cubs to make some moves, and then the Bears, right? So let's start with the Bears. Tell me what's going on with them, some of the move that they have made already.
All right, so I guess the biggest part of this is that they haven't made a lot of moves. And I think that's surprised a lot of people because Ryan Pace was somebody that wanted to jump on it right away, get his guy. Poles is very much like, let me sit back, let me be a little bit more methodical about this and think about where are we going to be in a couple of years? Do we need this guy right now? What are they going to do for us next year? And he hasn't made that many moves, but they did make a splash signing Larry Ogunjobi, who's the defensive tackle from the Bengals, to a 3-year deal. So that's going to be a nice piece in the middle, I think. Somebody that they see that's going to be there for a while. I think he's only 27 or 28. So he's
saw a little connection there, which was pretty funny. Sorry, real fast. Yeah. Ryan Pace's first signing was Pernell McPhee. And I believe like the similarity there is Larry O is going into like his 5th or 6th year. And so was Pernell McPhee. They were both like 27 and both their first signing. So hopefully this one turns out a little better than Pernell McPhee. But what else we got going on?
Yeah, definitely. Some of the other names, obviously we didn't tag Allen Robinson. There's still people thinking that he's going to come back. I just think we've burned the bridge there with him. They haven't been that connected to too many other wide receivers in free agency. I know Christian Kirk was a name that people were coming up with, but Juju Smith-Schuster has been thrown out there, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Supposedly MVS is hot on the market right now. We did release Cohen and Eddie Goldman. So those are some,
Did we talk about Khalil Mack?
And the Khalil Mack trade? Yeah, I mean that.
I was gonna say,
well, like right after
that's a big move.
Yeah,
that's a kind of a statement move. I mean, you're trading away one of your best defensive pieces for draft capital. It definitely shows you what pace or what Poles' kind of vision is for this first year at the helm.
Yeah, traded Mack for a 2 this year, so we've got 2 second rounders now, and then a 6 for the following year to the Chargers. So yeah, that was a huge splash.
Did you like that return?
I think that was probably the best that he could get. I think really, Mack was coming off an injured year last year.
31.
Hasn't had 10 sacks in a few years. He's getting older, and I mean maybe breaking down a little bit. So I think get what you can get. Send him to somebody like the Chargers who are trying to go all in. And 2 is pretty good. It seems like there's some decent players that we're going to have available there.
I like the it's Patriots, right? Get as many draft pieces as you can. That is kind of where teams are built these days. It's really hard, but the Rams just did it to kind of build a team in free agency.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on with the Bears. We'll keep you updated. Around the NFL, the other huge news this week, and I think that Khalil Mack trade happened, and then Tom Brady.
So yeah, I was going to say, it seems like a month ago that happened.
Yeah, everything got shaded by Tom Brady unretiring.
Did you see? I was like scrolling through Instagram, and he wanted to see Cristiano Ronaldo play, and he tweeted his Instagram story like Ronaldo meeting his kids, getting a jersey swap, and then it was the day before he announced that he was coming back. And I was looking at this, and it's him and Ronaldo, and Ronaldo goes, "So you're done, huh? You're done. You're finally done." And Tom goes and kind of like shakes his head and kind of leans back, and you could see the uncertainty there. And I was like, That was weird. And I like rewound it and played it and like held it up to my ear to hear if he said anything. If he said like no or anything. And then the next day he announced that he was unretiring. And that clip that I'm talking about, people like cut it up and kept reposting it to where it's like Ronaldo's like, "Are you done?" He's just like, "I don't know," kind of thing. It's like, wow, the day before.
I did see a lot of people posting about the guy that paid over $500,000 for his last touchdown pass. I was like, God, that's brutal. I'm sure that guy has money to, make him happy otherwise, but still that's a lot of money to spend on something that's really not going to be worth a whole lot there. How about our boy Mitch Trubisky going to Pittsburgh?
Happy for him.
James Daniels, former Bear, also went to Pittsburgh too, the lineman. So
I think he's going to do great.
You always have that confidence in Mitch for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right fit, but what else is
it's a great franchise. I mean, the franchise run well and
good receivers.
I don't know what the media market is like there, but I don't think it's as scrutinized as it is here in Chicago over the quarterback position. They've had some longevity there.
Pittsburgh fans are ruthless, man. I think they are,
but they're always good.
Yeah,
like the team's usually good.
Right. Yeah. Great coach to play for, I'm sure.
And not a bad running back that they pair him up with there to kind of just take it easy on him.
Right. That's true. All right. Deshaun Watson's been, talking to teams now because he has a no trade clause. So there have been a lot of interest pretty much from every team that doesn't have, superstar quarterback.
Right.
New Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta. So everybody that's got to face Tom Brady twice a year is like interested and going for him. Cleveland, Miami, and Indy. Though the Texans told Indy pretty much get lost. They're definitely not trading them to you. So you're in the same division.
You're going to Vegas. What team you picking? What are you putting your odds on?
I still think so. They said Atlanta was kind of a dark horse. I still think it's going to be Carolina because I think they want to get rid of McCaffrey and would package some picks. I think that's a pretty decent player to get back if you're Houston and you like Houston. Davis Mills. I think you pair him with a good running back if you really think because I don't think he's got that kind of arm. Like he's not that kind of quarterback. If you can pair him with a good running back,
I think any
do something.
GM that's worth a salt though is not going to be taking McCaffrey. I don't know. Like
Really,
the guy's always hurt and he's only getting older and he's only getting hit more.
most expensive running back in the league too.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. DJ Chark went to the Lions 1 year, 10 million. Must have been pretty soft market for him. He's been injured the last, I think 3 or 4 years. I don't know if he's played a full season. Still young, only 25, but thought that was kind of surprising that he only went for 10 million, given that there weren't that many wide receivers out there. Aaron Rodgers signed his new deal, and the Packers are telling Devontae Adams he needs to play on the franchise tag.
Yep.
He wants like 30 million a year.
Right?
Yeah, they can't. I don't think they can afford to pay Devontae Adams. So I don't know what they're going to do if he decides to sit out. I hope he does. As a Bears fan, that would be awesome. I think ultimately he plays, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to figure out a way for Green Bay to give it a couple more shot here. I mean, it wouldn't make it would be a total like
Failure for them to
F you to Aaron Rodgers if he did not take anything for the club and played elsewhere and just left him out there to dry. I think they must have had a mutual understanding for Aaron to come back with that 3-year deal that he was going to be linked to his number 1 receiver.
Yeah. Amari Cooper was traded to Cleveland. They released Jarvis Landry. Supposedly the Saints and Chiefs are
So
expressing
many
the most interest in him.
moves.
Yeah, crazy.
It's been nuts.
Chargers re-signed Mike Williams, and they signed, I think, the top corner on the market, J.C. Jackson, 5 years, $82.5 million after trading for Khalil Mack. So
most interceptions the last 3-4 years in the league.
Yeah, they already got Derwin James back there, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson now. Just that defense is going to be absolutely stacked. The Jaguars spent a bunch of money. I don't know that's going to help them that much, but they got a right guard in Brandon Scherf, who's probably one of the best linemen on the market. Foye Olakun, who actually led the league in tackles last season at linebacker.
That's out of Atlanta, right? I think I played him a bunch in fantasy.
Yeah, I think so. And Evan Ingram they picked up from New York. And then Christian Kirk was the talk of Twitter for a while there. 4 years, $84 million. There's only 21 wide receivers making over 13 mil a year.
I like it.
Kirk's never had 1,000-yard season. He's been in the league like 5 years now.
Yeah, but he's going to be the number 1 there pretty much. And you put him with Trevor Lawrence. They sign a guard. They're kind of trying to build around him. They give that outlet of an Evan Ingram tight end. I think so you got to spend money because your quarterback's on his rookie deal.
Right.
So you're spending money on players to help that quarterback that you are hinging your franchise to develop. So you could hate on the Christian Kirk signing all you want, but you're getting him a legitimate NFL receiver as opposed to the garbage that they've been trotting out there with him in his rookie year. I think it's fine. I mean, he's a possession receiver. I think, how old is he? He's young.
He is young. Yeah.
He's young. And I mean, DJ Hopkins was there. You got Kyler Murray, who's always on the run. He's not a pocket passer. Lawrence is a pocket passer. I don't know. I think it's going to be decent. I think he's going to do all right there.
Yeah, but he's making more money now than Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, all those big names. Like, that's a big payday.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it took to get him interested in going to Jacksonville with how bad they are. But I mean, I don't think he was that good that he deserved that. So those are your updates with the NFL. I mean, a lot of stuff happening and still to happen. There's still a lot of teams, players getting released, every
What are you looking
day
for the
here.
Bears to do? What's like the next kind of thing you want or position you want or player you want them to go ahead and I feel like every day we're talking to each other of like what we think they should do. But what are you feeling?
So if anything, if what I would be most worried about shoring up this offseason would be the line, both sides of the line. If you can get a really good offensive line in place and give them a year to kind of grow together and also keep Justin Fields off his ass enough to be able to go through his progressions and understand, the game of football. I feel like he wasn't really given that opportunity to kind of grow. And like the line was so bad last year too. Like if you could just fix the offensive line to give him an opportunity to kind of just learn how to play quarterback at the NFL level for a year, and whether he does that great or not, I think it'll, let everyone see kind of what he is. The Cowboys released Lyle Collins, who I think was one of their, he's been a mainstay on their line since 2015. He's pretty solid lineman still. I think they could grab him. So that's somebody that I would be hoping that they try to grab, but just working on the offensive line anytime you see them looking for that. And then the defensive line too, just got rid of Khalil Mack and Goldman. I mean, you need pieces there. So what about you?
Yeah, I want an offensive line. Again, kind of like what I was talking about with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, this is our franchise here, right here is Justin Fields. So you need to do everything to put the team in a position to be successful around him. We know that starts with the offensive line. I would like to see them sign a receiver and also draft a receiver. That receiving core is awful. Allen Robinson was terrible last year. Kyle Mooney, or not, I always say Kyle Mooney. Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney's nice, but he's like nice for a Bears team. He's not nice if you put him on another major NFL
You're such a Mooney hater.
I am, because I don't think he's. I mean, we like him because our team sucked, and he was like the only highlight on an offensive team that was just really struggling.
So you liked Kirk. You like Kirk though, and Mooney had 1,000 yards last year. He had a better season than Kirk.
Yeah, but the Cardinals' offense was a way better offense, and he was, having to go in the pecking order. He was having to take a back seat to some of the top tier receivers. I mean, that receiving room was crazy with Hopkins there at number 1. So I just think we need to bolster that. We need to bolster the offensive line, and I'm with you too, right? You always build from the line, and I think Poles is going to do that as well, being a former lineman. So that's what I want them to do. But I do want them to sign a receiver as well, someone who can come in and just be like a professional receiver, someone who we can count on for a possession, to just come down with the ball. I feel like it's been years since we've had a real tried and true. I mean, we had B Marshall way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Those
guys are hard to come by.
They're hard to come by. They're hard to come by, That's why we got to draft one too.
Right. All right. So let's talk some Bulls, Dan. We were just talking about this in the pre-show, watching that Kings game last night. What happened there? What's going on with this team?
Yeah, I think Zach said it best in his post game. He even said, like, coming into this game with his, missed game, he's kind of maintaining his knee here, soreness, that he tiptoed into the game. And I mean, to be down by 20 to the Kings in the first half is definitely tiptoeing into a game. I think this team's going through a little bit of an identity crisis right now because of the amount of injuries that they've had, to where we started out like fast and furious in the beginning of the season, fully healthy. Williams went down obviously early, but we were still like a high octane offense with a really, really scrappy defense. Then Lonzo goes out. Williams is still out. Then Caruso goes out for a while, right? Derek Jones Jr. goes out for a while. They've just been kind of hit with that injury bug, and people are slowly coming back, right? Caruso just played his second game. He's trying to find his rhythm again. He was sloppy last night, had a lot of turnovers.
Yep.
Ayo, as a rookie, has been asked to do so much running that point guard. And I think he's just, he's hitting a wall a little bit to where he needs some like help.
That was something I was going to bring up, is when you're putting somebody like Ayo on De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, an absolute mismatch, and you're asking him to play 30 plus minutes.
To do so much. I mean, obviously it's good in the long run for him to have this much experience as a second round pick and as a rookie. But yeah, we're asking him to do a ton. So hopefully with Caruso coming back, I saw he was taking a little bit of point guard duties last night. But we need Lonzo to come back. Pat Williams coming back is going to be awesome again. But I mean, we only have about like 14, 15 games left in the year. We have the hardest remaining schedule in the entire NBA. We're 4-6 in our last 10. We went into the All-Star break in first place in the East. We're now in 4th. So the arrow's trending down. Zach's here and there, right? Missing games, trying to maintain his knee. And DeMar is going through a little bit of a slump for like DeMar numbers. He had 21 last night on a 7 of 17 shooting, 25 before. And this was a guy who was averaging like above 35 for a stretch here.
Yeah, he wasn't going to keep that efficiency up.
Obviously, we knew he wasn't going to keep that up, but I think you see the team kind of feeling, or the team like struggling with their identity a little bit when he goes through a slump, because they're so used to him helping them out and bailing them out. And when the other team's going on a run and they need to stop or they need a bucket on the other end, DeMar was always coming through to kind of steady the ship. And now with a little bit of a struggle, obviously when I say struggle, we're talking about MVP candidate type struggle, to where it's like, okay, he had a bad game. What did he have? He had 21, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, they're learning. It's just a weird time and window for the Bulls right now, and their schedule doesn't get any easier. So it's going to be a struggle down to the finish. But hopefully, I'm really, really hopeful once they get Lonzo back, right? And then Io's your backup guard coming off the bench. Same with Caruso coming in off the bench. Like, they're going to be a real solid second unit, and they're going to be really fun to watch if everyone's healthy. So again, I think they're going to win the first round of the playoffs. As far as after that, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I just hope they have the time to click before the playoffs start there with, some of those guys coming back.
Yeah, so that's the Bulls. I mean, we'll see where they go. What about Cubs, man? MLB finally struck a deal. It's happening. Baseball's back. What do we got? What's going on there?
Baseball's back. We have an agreement. Players have reported to spring training already. There's a lot to cover with this new agreement. Some stuff we won't get into. But I'm going to talk through some of the stuff that I think is important to,
Hit me with it.
Maybe you would have seen, there was an agreement, but you don't know, some of the details and some of the changes that are going to go into effect this year and next year. So start off, opening day is April 7th. They're going to play a full 162 games. There was some talk of them missing, a couple weeks of the season here, but they decided they're going to extend it 3 days. They're going to play those extra 2 series that had been canceled, and they're going to make some of those up in 9-inning doubleheaders. The CBA runs about 5 years. So we won't have to talk about this hopefully again until 2026, which is good. There's a new playoff format. 12 teams are going to make the playoffs now. There's going to be, the 2 division winners that have the best records. They'll get a bye. That 3rd division winner will be the highest seed in the first round. And then the wild card teams with the best records will be next. So they'll do 3-game first round series for those teams. So, more teams will make the playoffs, which I think is good. So more teams will start, going for it. You know what I mean? There'll be a little bit less tanking, I think. Right. New rules for 2022. There's going to be universal DH. They're getting rid of those 7-inning doubleheaders and ghost runners and extra innings, at least for now. Thankfully, I hated those rules.
Hitting, man. I'm going to miss the pitcher hitting.
Yeah. You're going to miss those John Lester home runs.
Yeah.
He's the last guy.
Carlos Zambrano hitting dingers.
Fun fact, last pitcher to ever hit a home run for the Cubs, John Lester.
That's awesome.
Potentially ever.
That's awesome.
Is the new rule for
I like that.
Another interesting note is on service time. I know this was like a huge deal if you're a Cubs fan when Chris Bryant was coming up. A lot of talk about this. Top 2 players in Rookie of the Year voting must receive at least a full year of service time, regardless of when they were called up. So, if you have a potential stud player, now you're a little bit more incentivized to bring them up at the beginning of the season, because also if you promote a player to the opening day roster and keep them for a full season, they're eligible to receive up to 3 draft picks if that player finishes in the top 3 of the Rookie of the Year voting. So if you have a really good player and you bring them up right away and they do really well, like you think they're going to do, there's no sense in holding them down for the, 3 weeks or whatever it was before bringing them up, because now you can get some draft picks for them. So that's good to see that hopefully some of these teams won't be taking advantage of that as much. There's also going to be a draft lottery, which the NBA already does. But the MLB is implementing this. I won't get into the percent chances and all of that, but there is going to be a draft lottery. So tanking, hopefully they're trying to get rid of the tanking. Other new rules that'll come in 2023, so not this year, but the following, there's going to be larger bases. First, second, and third base are going to be 18 inches rather than 15 inches squared. So a 14-second pitch clock they're throwing on there. And there's going to be a ban on defensive shifts. I know this was something that you talked about a few episodes back. Teams must have 2 infielders on each side of second base. I don't know that I like this.
It's going to produce more offense, and that's what they're looking out for the fans there. I like it. Obviously, right, it goes against strategy and it goes against coaching, to where you could figure out a guy pulls it, put a defender there, and he's fucked. But this is going to allow for more hits, more runs, more gappers, guys running around the bases, sprinting home, plays at the plate. It's just going to bring a little bit more entertainment to the sport, I think.
Yeah. And then another one that I love that I'm surprised never was implemented until now is that all teams will play each other, including teams in both leagues. So every NL team is going to play every AL team. You don't have to look to, like, sometimes, a Cubs fan wants to go to Fenway and wants to watch Boston play the Cubs.
Yep.
You have to wait years and years until that actually happens. So now, thankfully, just like the NBA, you'll play every single team, which I think is awesome. All right. So those are some of the big ones. There's obviously other changes too, but I'm not going to get into everything.
Cool. Just
some cool stuff there. MLB Free Agency, like we talked about, is going on right now. The 2 big names I think that most people are watching are Carlos Correa and Freddie Freeman. Neither of them has signed as of yet. There's been some trades though. Yankees got Josh Donaldson. They got rid of Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. They sent them over to the Twins. Mets got all-star pitcher Chris Bassett. Matt Olson was traded to the Braves for some prospects. Jesse
signed
Winker.
a huge contract there in Atlanta too, right after it.
Yeah, supposedly he's from Atlanta, so they're keeping the hometown boy there for a while. And then the Mariners got Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez from the Reds. Who
I just think
Suarez,
of
Hughes
every time. Eugenio Suarez.
Guy knows how to say it. I can't do it like him. Nobody does it like him, man.
No one does it like him. I'm so happy to hear his voice back on there. Cubs radio. I can't wait, man.
Seriously.
I was about to say WGN, but it's not WGN anymore.
Yeah. Andrew McCutchen went to Milwaukee. I don't know. I think he's past his prime. Nelson Cruz. I think he's 41 now. He went to the Nationals though.
Just a professional hitter.
Clayton Kershaw back to the Dodgers on a 1-year.
What about the Cubs, man? What did the Cubs do?
The Cubs did make some moves. They did make some big moves. They signed Andrelton Simmons, who everyone was pissed because it's not
Andrelton.
I think it's Andrelton.
Okay. We'll check that. Check that.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I don't think he's necessarily going to start. He's 32. Great middle infield depth, though. He's a great defender, 4-time Gold Glove Award winner.
Yeah.
1 year, $4 million deal. So, I mean,
I'd rather have that than the kind of rotating young prospects we had last year of just like throw them out there, see what we got.
It's a 1-year deal too. Yeah. Potentially flippable at the deadline for somebody that needs some defense.
Yep.
Also signed a couple of relievers, Jesse Chavez, it's on a minor league deal with an invitation to big league camp. He had a strong year with the Braves, who won the World Series. So 2.14 ERA last year over 33 innings. Chris Martin also pitched for Atlanta out of their bullpen, 3.95 ERA. So he had a good year too. I mean, look at both those guys, a couple guys coming from the World Series champs on pretty sweet deals to the Cubs. I like it.
Yeah.
Pretty low risk signings there.
And I think if you look at the division, I mean, it's kind of, who do you think? I mean, right? The Reds were kind of in sell mode there. Milwaukee, we don't know. I mean, they might be top of it, you think?
Yeah.
Cardinals are always there, but Pittsburgh sucks. I think we got a chance to compete.
Pittsburgh always sucks. Yeah, I think it's the Brewers' division to lose. Yeah. But Cardinals will probably be up there with them.
Hate it.
So, yeah,
hate it.
For sure. All right, so this week March Madness starts, Dan.
Yeah.
Madness.
Talk about one of the best times of the year for a sports fan.
Seriously. And a gambling fan if you're a
gambling fan. But that first day, I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, I know a lot of people take the day off of work, and it's also like it's been studied to be like the least productive work day of the year because everybody's like streaming games, even like workplace brackets are being sent out. I'm sure anyone listening to this is that somebody reach out to them and say, hey, I'm doing a bracket. You want it? Or, and it's just nonstop action for those first like 4 days. It's nuts. Game after game after game, multiple channels, upsets, buzzer beaters. There's nothing like it, man.
Yeah, it's the best. Those first few days are just the sweetest part.
Yeah.
So speaking of these first few days, I got some potential upsets for you in the first round. I wanted to run by and see what you think.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to run my 3 by you, and then you can run a few by me.
Okay.
All right. So the first ones that I have here, Loyola.
Of course.
Sister Jean.
Over Ohio
State, the Big Ten team. Yeah. Loyola is actually a 1-point favorite here, though they're the 10 seed and Ohio State's the 7. Loyola's riding a 3-game win streak into the tourney, and Ohio State's lost their last 2. It's going to be a theme with these upsets here.
Loyola's head coaches?
It's we talked about this.
I think Drew Valentine, Denzel Valentine's older brother.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Denzel Valentine's older brother.
Bull for life.
Yeah. So I like that one. It's a 10/7. Okay, not that crazy.
Yep.
Virginia Tech 11 over Texas 6. I like this one too.
Yep.
Texas 3-game losing streak coming in. Tech 4-game winning streak. Texas is only favored by 1 point in this game, so it's pretty much an even split here. And I think I'm taking the team that's hot right now. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
And then I got South Dakota State, who's a 13 over Providence, who's a 4. I think both these teams are pretty good. Providence only favored by 2, so close line again here. SD State, though, is on a 21-game winning streak. I don't know that their schedule's been that hard.
Yeah.
But that's tough to say that they're going to come in and lay down here on a 21 game win streak. What do you think?
Yeah, I got Providence in that one. I'm pretty sure that location is like Connecticut or something, East Coast. So it's not a far trip for them out of Rhode Island. And they've been pretty solid all year. They're an older team as well. So I think they got that one.
All right. You got any other upsets there?
I do. So if I'm looking at it here, I got a couple. I'll go like bracket by bracket or division by division here. I like New Mexico State over UConn. I like a 12 over a 5 there. And right below it, I like Vermont. I like Vermont over Arkansas. I was watching, I didn't know that their best player, UVM, I believe it's Vermont. Yeah. Their best player is actually from Schaumburg, Illinois, where I was born and raised, but went to Conant. And my good friend, Mitch Marco, coached him when he was over there at Conant. Yeah. And he's just a big white guy that just dominates the post, shoots it, finesse. I think it's one of those teams that's just going to be really scrappy. So I got those two. I like Marquette over UNC. That is the VCU. What's his Shaka Smart? So he was VCU, and then he went to Texas, didn't do too well at the big program, and he's back at Marquette, and he does that full court press and trap in the corners, the diamond press, and it just drives teams nuts. And if they can get a team to play off their game, I mean, it's a good upset. It's only a 9 over an 8 there, but I like Marquette. I like Murray State. Not an upset. Yeah. They're playing number 10 San Francisco. I like Miami over USC. Miami over USC. I like Iowa State over LSU. I like Richmond over Iowa because Iowa, even though they were looking really good.
Yeah, Iowa's a good team this year, I think. Yeah.
That's a tough one for me, but I just, it's Iowa. Can't pick them. I got Loyola as well. Michigan over Colorado State. I got Houston going pretty deep, although they are a 5. But that's about it for me. Who you got winning it?
Okay. So winning the whole thing here, I got Arizona.
Wait, you got Arizona. Okay. What's your final 4?
So I got Arizona, Kansas, Gonzaga, and Kentucky. Nothing too wild.
Okay. I got Arizona, Auburn, Gonzaga, Kentucky, and I got Gonzaga beating Auburn in the championship.
Auburn in the championship. All right. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I got them getting stomped by the Badgers. That's where I'm at there.
I don't think Wisconsin's going to do very well. I got them losing pretty early.
All right.
I think I got Duke losing early too.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go. That's our March Madness. There you go. If you pick a winner based off of our selections, our final 4 there, some of our upsets, pay us. We'll send you a Venmo. I got a would you rather. Evan, are you ready for this one?
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Would you rather for the rest of your life, every day, have to wear an eye patch or an Abe Lincoln style top hat?
I think the eye patch is more badass. I think you can rock with that one a little bit more than the top hat. You might be a little bit more. I don't know why. I feel like you'd be a little bit more of an outcast wearing that stupid top hat.
A top hat.
Yeah. What about you?
I think I'm kind of with you. I feel like eye patches are a little bit in after like the Marvel movies with Sam Jackson.
It makes me think of number 2 from Austin Powers. Is what
you don't see a lot of eye patches, but when you do, you don't question it. You're just like, oh, eye patch. If you see a guy wearing a top hat, he chose to wear that top hat.
Yep. All right. So fast fact before we close out this show, Dan. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese is making ice cream in partnership with Van Leeuwen.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Apparently it's being sold at Walmart, and apparently it's sold out already. So I didn't even know about.
How many did you buy?
Right off the bat.
Apparently
they're bringing 7. This company, Van Leeuwen Ice Cream, is bringing. It's a Brooklyn-based company. They're bringing 7 exclusive flavors to Walmart: Kraft Mac and Cheese, Planet Earth, Pizza, Hot Honey, Royal Cake, Bourbon Cherries Jubilee, and Wild Blueberry Shortcake. So I can get down with the Wild Blueberry Shortcake maybe, and even the Bourbon Cherries I think sounds good. I don't know about pizza or mac and cheese ice cream.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either. It sounds very Brooklyn thing to do, very hipstery to like kind of like shock market almost. Like, look at these crazy flavors, come buy them, and they're going to taste awful.
Yeah. All right. Happy St. Patrick's Day in a couple of days there. And
that's right. Also to my wife, Crystal, it's her birthday. Same day.
Happy birthday, Crystal. All right. Thanks again for joining us. For Dan Slowick, I'm Evan Bierman. You've been listening to the Domestic Draft Podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, don't forget to rate the show. You can find us on Twitter at Domestic Draft, on Instagram at Domestic Draft Podcast, our website, domesticdraft.com. And you can watch the show on YouTube. Just search up Domestic Draft and drop us a sub. Thanks again for listening. Cheers.
Cheers.